Welcome to Toffee TV, proudly backed by Ladbrokes for the season. This is the match preview, Everton versus Manchester City, champions-elect. I don't know what you're doing that for.
I'm ready for them. Ready to rumble. Yeah.
Like Ant and Deck.
Let's get ready.
Well, you know, it could be a crash course. Man City at home. Not to fear, have we?
Never. Always beat them.
Oh.
Not to fear. We've got a good view. Listen, we've got a very good record against Manchester City. But this season, they're awesome. So it's going to be.
I'm beating those though.
They haven't, which was mad that we were in our ridiculous, terrible form for a long time this season. We were the only team to take points off them. And obviously this is going to be a very difficult game, but one that I suppose we'll be confident because we're good at home. We are good at home, and their record isn't great at Goodison. And I remember a City fan earlier in the season, before they'd lost or anything, and I just remember them tweeting saying, people going on about us being unbeaten all season. Don't they realise we haven't gone to Goodison yet? And I just thought, even they know it's a bit of a, it's a running joke that the record isn't great at Goodison, but this is a totally different animal, this team. They could turn up and spank us, but the thing with them is they always give you the chance. As Liverpool, I know, say we're not at Liverpool's level in terms of attack on wise, but as Liverpool proved, you get chances against Man City.
I think you do, but I think they're like you just said, they're a different animal now. They're a different beast. I think for a long time we sort of didn't see them as soft touches, but they would leave the door open for you. But I think they're just so good now that the door, it doesn't. They've got a keeper now who
got a goalie,
who saves shots, which I think that was the big thing last season. Everyone had a chance because the keeper was just abysmal, and everything went through. And I think they've rectified that. They've rectified their back foot.
Do you think he's been the most impressive signing certainly in the
this season?
The summer, it's been fantastic.
He's solved a huge problem. He's won them points because of saves, and also his distribution is fantastic as well. So that helps in keeping the ball and starting attacks. At the back, they've sorted themselves, went out and spent a lot of money on a lot of good players, and everything's clicked into place this season. But I think they've also got like a little bit of a bit of something in them as well. I watched them a couple of weeks ago at Stoke, and Monday night Stoke game, and you think, oh, this could be a little bit tricky. But it wasn't. And every time Stoke got buoyed by something, and the fans got behind them, City just put the foot on the ball and just played football for 5 minutes and took the sting out the game. And they're not a team either that you can sort of kick down or kick out of a game. They've got something about them. I think that's why people like them, to be honest. As a team.
I love watching them. They're fantastic.
They are, and they're not like
just a brilliant side.
What I love is you see people, and I see it in the comments, a few people who go on about it, or I wouldn't want to watch that every week, and the foreign managers, and they love Sam and all this, and you're like, shut up, behave yourself. This is a form of football that you would beg to watch being played at Goodison Park.
I honestly listen. People give them stick and all that, but sometimes when you see like empty seats there and that, you just think, how are people not queuing up forever to watch them? But I mean, City have always had brilliant fans anyway. Whether they had enough to be what they are now, that's a different thing. But they were getting 30,000 when they were in the second division. Which they've always had a great following, but to watch what they're watching now must be a privilege because they're just absolutely fantastic.
Well, I think a couple of weeks ago when they had Arsenal in the League Cup final, then they had the Arsenal away, and then they had Chelsea at home. And you looked at those three fixtures and you thought, you know what, they'll probably win the League Cup, and then it'll be a tough game going to the Emirates, and then Chelsea, and you think, and And they just blitzed all 3 games. You know, the games against Arsenal, they were magnificent.
Well, I think I mean, Arsenal, they destroyed them at Wembley, and then to go the Emirates a few days later and destroy them again. Because Arsenal, for everything that Arsenal are, they're normally decent at home, aren't they? You know, you can have a go at Arsenal away, you can bully them, you can get into them. But at the Emirates, they generally win those games, or they're in them. City just...
But you were expecting a response as well from Arsenal, and City just got all over them, and the way they keep the ball is brilliant. And I think, listen, we've talked massively about City already. I think for us, I think it's a little bit, I'm not saying it's a freebie, but we've just won 2 games, and you're just thinking, well, we've got a couple of games at home now. Obviously this one, Liverpool. Let's just see what we've got. Let's see what we've got. You know, the pressure I suppose is off us. We've got the 40 points, but let's see what we've got. Where can we end up this season? What can we do against a City team with the pressure being off us? And I'm not saying the pressure's on City, but they have got, you know, if they beat us, that sets it up for a game at the Etihad against Man United to win the league. So there's a little bit of pressure on them for that. They've got the first leg of a tricky Champions League game. So will he put out a full team? Whereas for us, I suppose it's a freebie. I mean, we've got a little bit of stability back in the last few weeks. Okay, Garner could be missing. We need that confirmed, but Garner looks like he'll be missing, so that's a blow. No Gylfi Sigurdsson, that's a blow. But the positives are Seamus Coleman, Leighton Baines, Phil Jagielka, all back. Hopefully marshalling that back four with Michael Keane and Jordan Pickford in goal. And Cenk Tosun, we've got a striker in form. Theo Walcott's been sunning himself in Dubai. Nice for him.
Good.
You know, we've got a few positives, and hopefully we can take them into the game. Pressure being off, fans get behind them, then we can. We've got to play well, and they've got to play less. We know that. We're not kidding ourselves. This is a very, very good Manchester City team. A very good Manchester City team. You just hope that with all the mixture of the different things, that maybe it'll be our day, and also that little bit of fear. Like you said before, we are in a way Man City's bogey team, and have been for the last 7 or 8 years. So let's hope that all plays a part in us getting something out of the game.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's 11 v 11, right? Now their 11 is much better than ours, of course it is. But on any given day, I've seen, you know, Crystal Palace were nearly the first team to beat them. Missed a penalty in the 91st minute or whatever it was. So they can be beaten. Bale beat them the other week in the time. I know the tie was over and City weren't really that bothered. But they still went and beat them at the Etihad. So they are beatable. Of course they are, like any teams. The thing for them is they're very, very consistent. But for us, we're good at home. And that's a big thing. You know, we've won 9 home games this season, in the season when we haven't been great. We've won 3 on the run, I think, at home now, the last 3 or whatever it is. We're in a little bit of a, you know, probably a decent bit of form, which isn't, you know, City win that in a week, like what we just won. But, you know, so things are a little bit better for us. We just won away, our last away game. We haven't done that for a while. So we have the crowd behind us. Like you say, it's only, for Manchester City, it's a case of when, not if. So for them, I'm not saying they'd come in and go, oh, it doesn't matter if we lose this, of course they wouldn't. But their eyes may just be, one eye may just be on Anfield in the midweek. And you've got
to be careful with all those fireworks and pink flares.
Oh, they'll be terrified. You know, they'll have never seen anything like pink flares.
Maybe we should bring pink flares to the game on Saturday.
Or let's not. Let's just say and play football. Because these are
actual pink flares.
Oh, just wear pink flares.
I think that. See, but I worry that if we wore any kind of flares, Man City fans would feel right at home. Do you know what I mean? I think if we wore any kind of flares, any kind of, you know, denim flares, I think that would make them feel a little bit too at home.
That they, you know, they'd be terrified with the Anfield atmosphere. Yeah. But 8:05, you'll be alright. No, be 7:45, so 7:50, you'll be fine, lads. It'll be silent like normal. But I think that for us, we, like you've just said, they've got to be below par and we've got to be above what we've shown. But that can happen in football games, and we've got to match them in everything they do. We can't make mistakes, and we've got to take chances, and that is, taking chances is having shots. And our front three now, we've just lately, we've actually played with a proper front three. Now I know that Yannick Bolasie can infuriate people, of course, he infuriates me. But I think what Yannick Bolasie does is he offers you some pace and power down that side, and what I'd like to see him do, particularly if he's up against Kyle Walker, I know he's not going to run Kyle Walker because Walker's quick, but get him involved in races, get Kyle Walker having to run back towards his own goal and put tackles in, but get half a yard and cross the ball, get crosses into that middle, let them have to deal with the balls in. Tosin will get on the end of stuff, and then in Theo, the other side, he can cause problems as well. So, you know, we've got some options ourselves. Wayne Rooney loves a goal against Man City, absolutely loves it.
I'll be honest, I think these games are, I'm not going to say won or lost, but maybe, I think it's what you do without the ball against Man City that's so important. I think last season,
shape, isn't it?
Well, last season when we played them and we beat them 4-0, you know, first 20 minutes, they had a lot of the ball, and we
stayed in the game.
They carved us open a couple of times, and I think Silva had one where he put it over, and then we stayed in the game, and you know, Lukaku's got one where he hit it straight at the keeper, and the keeper
should have done better.
You know, and we've gone on second half and killed it off by scoring right at the right times. This season at the Etihad, again, first 20 minutes we kept ourselves in the game when they were battering us, and it was interesting the shape that night we played. We played like 5 across, and Baines was brilliant at left back. You know, he suckered Kyle Walker into a couple of tackles and stuff and got him sent off. And we played on the break, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin that night was absolutely amazing. And I think this is where I get most of my confidence from, in Calvert-Lewin. I know you missed this game because you were in America, but he was absolutely amazing in this game. It was probably the best centre forward performance I've seen for a very long time. He wound them up better than I've seen anyone wind a City up all season. Otamendi did not have a clue, and in the end, Company had to resort to start kicking him because he was so good. He was so good that night. I don't think he's had a game like it, and that allowed Rooney to pick up the space behind him, and just because he had all of them preoccupied, and Rooney just played in that space behind, and that's where the goal came from. So, you know, as I say, I take a little bit of comfort from that, but you've got to be so clever when you haven't got the ball. And the irony is, last season, that when we were 1-0 up, this season, sorry, Koeman tried to change it and tried to be a little bit, we were under pressure, but we were dealing with it, and we had 5 at the back, and he tried to change things. He tried to give us a little by going forward, and he brought Klaassen on, who ironically saved us in the last minute by glancing one over, but he brought Gylfi on, and I've never seen a player so, I can't say unfit because he wouldn't have been unfit, but so off the pace in a game, and he put him on the left, and they just started bombing us down there, and the cross that came over came from our left, their right. Whereas if maybe he'd let, you don't know because he rolled the dice, but by bringing Gylfi on, it was almost like, you know, you get something and you want to play with it straight away. It didn't work. He should have brought someone else on, I think.
He took Williams off, didn't he?
He took Williams off. He was having a good game that night. He was, you know, he was having a good game. He took Williams off, tried to be a little bit more. But I think the problem with that night is because we didn't have any other centre forwards, you needed either someone up with Calvert-Lewin or someone to replace Calvert-Lewin, and he didn't do that. He tried to put an extra body in midfield, and it didn't work, even though they only had 10 men. Because he brought Gylfi on, it was like having 10 men for us then. And then better. And they were just going down that side, and Holgate's headed one straight back onto the penalty spot, and then you're under pressure. But and it was tactically, we got it wrong that night, just with the subs. But it does give you, but you've got to be shape-wise. You've got to be so disciplined, and I know that must be a nightmare for players. And especially when you've got older players and you've got people like Silva pulling the strings. It must be so hard. It really must. But that I think that's going to be the key thing.
I think the crowd will be key as well. I think the crowd can get, not that they're not going to scare City, I don't mean it that way.
Pink flares.
The pink flares. Shake the bus and all that, you know. Because that'll terrify them. I think the crowd will be key for us, just in terms of giving our players that extra little bit of energy, because there will be big periods in that game when they just got the ball and they're popping it round.
I think it's understanding as well, and I think we've got used to that playing against the likes of City. You know, we've seen it this season playing against Chelsea as well. There will be big times, but it's understand. This one thing that really frustrates me at the game sometimes is when you're watching a game and the opposition have got the ball and they're keeping the ball, and people are screaming at our players to go and like press it and hunt the ball down, without realising that what they're doing is keeping the shape to stop that player with the ball finding a pass. I mean, it only takes someone to run at a player for someone like Silva to just go, we're around the back, Kevin De Bruyne around the back, or the opposite. It's been Silva going around the back recently and Kevin De Bruyne popping it over, and next minute you're like, how did he get all that space? Well, it's because the indiscipline of one of those players, and I think people have got to most people do, but it's just pockets of people who are like, when the opposition, well done Dad, and you're like, no, keep the shape, so that, okay, I understand that when you're like defending on the edge of the 6-yard box, that's a little bit different. But when you've been drilling players
I think if you're going to press, you need to press from the front, so if you're going to do it, so therefore if they're knocking it around the back, go in. But when they've got it 10-15 yards further up on the art, you've got to keep that shape. And I think it's impact, isn't it, what they call it. So the likes of Silva will try and draw you and play past 5 of your men, so it cuts out 5 players, and they all of a sudden they're on the edge of your box and your players are out the game. But
I think that's what we've been very good at in the last few years against City, is being disciplined, keeping the shape, is not resorting to following. I think that's how City do.
And this should be Sam Allardyce's strong suit. Being able to prepare for a game like this, I think, and a game like Liverpool next week, because that's what he's about, isn't he? Clean sheets. And no, but what I mean by that is, right, and we won't accept it all the time, of course we won't, but the performance against Chelsea at Goodison was so disciplined. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but we drew 0-0 at a time when we didn't have any kind of shape or any kind of form. But we were well disciplined. Everyone stuck to the job, and you know what? We had the odd chance to nick it, and we nearly nicked it in injury time at Michael Keane's header. But everyone defended really well, and I think if we can do that, but now we've got we had Sandro, who was way off the pace in that game, and you know, and Calvert-Lewin, I think, who didn't have a particularly good game that day either. If we've now got 3 up front who can hurt them, but we're gonna have to defend for your life.
It's about doing your job, and when you get the chance, taking them. And last year we did. We took our chance at the right time, and that just kicked us on for the next one, and it changed. And it was, as I say, it was the same at the Etihad this season. The way we defended, the way we got through the first 20 minutes, it buoyed us, and then we started going, well, you know what, we've got through the first 20 minutes. Let's go to phase 2 of the plan almost, and we started it, and Dom and Rooney started playing behind them, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to almost, and this is I think this is the difference actually between good teams and great teams, is that good teams have a plan and can play like City, but if it doesn't work, they get bored. And I think that's the difference actually between the City early on in the season to the City now, is that early on in the season they got bored and started come away from the plan, but now they'll probably just stick to the plan. And I think that night we frustrated them just long enough that it gave us a chance to get in the game, and we got in the game and we took our chance, and then we went back. We went back to get back. So it was like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 is back to phase 1, and that's what it was. And we could never quite get away from that. And as I say, that opened the door to let them get in. And I know people go, oh, they were down to 10 men, it wasn't a good performance, but it was a really good performance. Regardless of whether they had 10 men or not, they dominated the ball, and it was the fact that we tried to be more ambitious that opened the door. And I say it wasn't the right, they weren't the right subs. That was the only problem, they weren't the right subs, But then we were hampered by who we had available to us that night.
Listen, it's a game we can win, but like we said, things would have to go right for us, and we'd have to take our chances when they come along. They should win because they're an unbelievably good football side, but
that's not how footy works.
No, footy's about being confident and taking your chances, and it's not predictable all the time. And the only thing that is certain is that they'll win the league, which but it's just when.
But we've got to do our job, because at the end of the day, right? This will sound stupid, but if we play 100% and they play 100%, they'll win.
Of course they will.
If they play 50% and we play 50%, they'll win. So we need to play 100% against their 50, 75, even 90% to win the game. We've got to be at our best to win the game. We can't fall short and hope they fall even more short, because they won't, because they're a good side and their default will be like 75%.
And still brilliant.
So we've got to match that and put a little bit more in. And listen, if you watch the advert on BT, there's only one team. It's Man City playing Man City, basically, in this game. So let's show them that it's not.
Yeah.
Show them that there's an actual team playing.
Get an apple cart and just go like that. Everton upset it for a change.
But what it does is, if you get a decent result, or listen, I tell you what this game reminds me of slightly, but just not quite. The team we're playing not quite as are a lot better. Sorry, when we played Arsenal last season at home, and no one gave us a chance, and we didn't give us a chance, and we went out and certainly second half we put in performances that stopped them playing and rose us up a little bit, and the crowd was great. And let's see if we can do that. And if we do that on Saturday, then the following Saturday there's another.
It'll take care of itself.
Pretty big game. Let's go in that with the confidence from this game, because that's what we did against last year again, the Arsenal game. We played Arsenal, we beat them, then we went into Derby, and for the first part we were really good in the Derby, and then James McCarthy went off, and the plan went, and we didn't have players to back it up. But we weren't that bad that night. There were two good performances that spurred us on actually for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So okay, it's later stage of the season, but let's see if we can start with this game on Saturday, come out of it going, you know what, we play whatever the result is Saturday, let's come out of the game going, we played well there, everyone did their best, we whatever happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that takes you into the next game the week after, where you go, well, we were good there, let's take that into this game. That's all you can ask for, isn't it? That's all you can ask for.
Give everything you've got and see where we end up.
Let us know your thoughts. Anyway, are you confident? Do you think City might rest some players, before they go to Flair Town?
They'll just rest Aguero and bring in Gabriel Jesus. That's all.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah. Or rest one Silva and play the other Silva. Yeah, or they could just bring Yaya in. Or
Stones could come. All the Paul could come. Or Company. Or Cow. Yeah. Danilo can come in.
Anyway, leave us your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, because it's boss. Honestly, it's boss. People tell us it's boss, so we're just relaying that back. And if you want more videos, join us on Patreon. At the moment, it's like 5 videos a week on Patreon. 5 videos
exclusive
that are exclusive to Patreon. And if you like your podcast, there's podcasts on there. There's like 7 podcasts for £1 a month. It's unbelievable value. Unbelievable.
Amazing.
Do we? See you later.